Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs Podcasts. We're your hosts, Andy and Dan. We're on season 5, episode number 46. Andy, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. This is the sports edition, our typical Monday night show, talk about local, regional, national sports. We've got a lot to cover. It is September 16th, 2024. We've got baseball, football, college sports, high school, prep, NASCAR.
Yep.
Hockey starting. We've got a lot of things. So let's start off with a WNBA trivia question, Andy.
Ooh, I love me and my WNBA.
Now, I figured you're a fan, so we wanted to promote the fact and elaborate on the fact that the Indiana Fever is qualified for the postseason.
Yes, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever.
Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Aaliyah Boston, the other number one pick last year. Have had a drought in the postseason, Andy, and now they're going to be in it this year. They just qualified. I don't know what seed they're going to be. They're about 500 record. Yeah. Nonetheless, they're going to be in the postseason. The question is, how long of a drought have the Fever had when it comes to WNBA postseason?
Now, keep in mind, there's 12 teams in the league and 8 make it. So keep that in mind when you come up with it.
Yeah, it's almost hard to not make it, but because they've had those two first overall picks last 2 seasons, we know they weren't
years.
We know they weren't good for a while, but how long has the drought been? So let's go on to some sports. We'll come back and circle back with the answer on that.
All right, you know us, we can't get away from our NBA. I have a little bit of it here today. News from league office: the Eagle Lake Expos request to join the River Valley League, and it was a unanimous exception. Eagle Lake will join fellow B teams St. Clair and Jordan, along with C teams Belle Plaine, Gaylord, Le Sueur, St. Peter, and the RVL West.
So. Interesting. Now, I didn't know this, but there's a lot of teams splitting and branching off and doing things. Eagle Lake Expos is one that no one really talked about it, and I guess they were either left without a home or left their conference to jump in here with River Valley. Interesting, though.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of these teams, like especially the C. Look at, they went from what, as of right now, I think 16 regions down to 12. So teams leaving, teams going to other conferences all over. It's gonna be an exciting time. I think we're gonna let all the dust settle, let the snow fly, get that out of the way, and let everybody find out what they want to do. And I think come after the first year, we're gonna have to discuss this in depth, who landed where and why, because guys can still change for a while, so we'll see what's going to happen. We're not going to get too excited and go, here's the new teams, because like this one came out now already. You never know what's going to happen.
Now, they're going to face some competition because St. Peter went to state, Le Sueur went to state, Jordan went to state.
Yep.
St. Clair has had some good teams. Belle Plaine has been down, and so has Gaylord recently, but they're all tough. That's going to be some good competition for Eagle Lake, so congrats to them. Welcome.
And like I said, we're going to talk about this after the first of the year. If you are interested, please email one of us. If you're on one of the town ball teams, your team's moving from C to B or C to A, B to C, or whatever, you're moving conferences, you want to be in for the little roundtable discussion. There is our email addresses to get a hold of us. That's our probably not going to do it until like after the first of the year, so plenty of time. As you know, we record on Monday nights, so make sure you got an evening Monday available. We'd really like to hear from a lot of different teams in different areas too.
There's going to be a lot of changes this next year, and these are going to be we're talking wholesale changes, not just a little tweaks here and there, but the shakeup with the classes, the shakeup with the teams, the regions, the sections, the conferences, all these things. It's going to be. This might be kind of a hot stove league to follow, Andy, this whole offseason, because there's going to be a lot of things moving and shaking.
Yeah, so if you're interested, there's our contact information. I mean, you can contact us these for anything, but as of now, town ball stuff. Speaking of, the Twins have released minor league catcher Derek Bender for telling opposing hitters what pitch was coming for at-bats at a game with playoff implications. Now, granted, this game got them eliminated from the playoffs. I'm not going to get into if they were barely in it. That's irrelevant. The fact he was giving up the pitches. You were a 6th-round pick. You just got there. I gave him up. I wanted to go home. I wanted to see in the end. All right, Pastor, turn this down for a second. Listen, bitch, how many guys would give their left nut to be in your position?
Yeah, and that's the point here.
That's the point right there. How many guys would have gave their left one to be in your spot?
Drafted 6th by the Twins as a catcher, and it's very interesting that this even happened. Now, it's kind of misleading. The Minnesota Twins affiliate team was not the team in the playoff implication. I think that's the way it made it sound like he screwed it over for us. We weren't going anywhere in the playoffs. It may have been the opposing team that had playoff implications. But either way, regardless, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Second of all, that mustache looks dumb on you. So there.
It's and I like the fact that there's a zero tolerance policy, right? There wasn't. They didn't give him a warning. They just said, "Dude, you're cut." And I think it was a $300,000 signing bonus.
Yep. So good luck at signing anywhere. He's not even be in town ball somewhere. Who's going to want this dirt ball? So this is how important for the youngsters listening to the show. Everything you do is under a microscope. You can't do things like this. Obviously, I don't know if the other players told on him. Obviously, the other team's batters must have said it, or the ump. Yep. Yeah, the other team's batters are the ones who blew the whistle on him. Going, he told me to pitch. They got like 6 runs in the 4th inning, and just you're a punk.
It's bad all the way around, right?
Tell Pastor to turn the volume back up too.
Okay, Pastor, turn the volume back up now. It's okay to listen.
High school football. You can't tell by feeling the weather outside, but it is high school football time here. We're going to go over the rankings of the 7 areas here real quick, the conferences, sections, whatever you call it. Then just a handful of scores of some of the teams we follow a lot. For those of you new to the show, we follow everything from 6A to 9, man. We show the rankings and seedings all the time. There's a handful of teams. We try to get one from each one to mention all the time. Sometimes we miss one. Sue us. All right, 6A. Now, this is as of September 10th, so before the scores I'll show you later. Kind of want to show you the rankings ahead of time. You had 1 through 6 were all 2-0. You had Edina, Tonka, Shakopee all up there 2-0. Eden Prairie 1-1, which is weird to say 1-1 for Eden Prairie. They're usually the 12-0 or 11-1 team at the end of the year. So 5A, Elk River was first. Alexandria area. Waconia at 2-0. Rochester John Marshall 2-0, but Andover 1-1. So strength of schedule. Moorhead and Waconia up there. See, I think Waconia is going to hold on for the year too and be up there, be a team to watch. 4A. Yes. 4A, this doesn't change much from year to year, it seems like lately, but Hutch, Orono, Mound West, Tonka, Hermantown, they're all up there in the top 10. 3A, Stewartville, Dassel, Cokato, which is usually the top 5. Holy Family, St. Croix Lutheran. So those are kind of the same cast of characters there. 2A, kind of the same group. There's Nord Young America at number 9. Hi, welcome to the club. A little new for them. Jackson County Central in there, Eden Valley Watkins. 1A, Minneota, Springfield, Bold. Those are kind of the top 3 usually. Good Hughes up there. Browerville at 2-0. Surprised. And 9-man, Nevis, Mountain Iron Bowl, Fertile Beltrami. Yes, I have family up there. That's how I could pronounce Fertile Beltrami properly.
Nice.
All right, here we go. Some scores. Some are going to say I'm taking favorites. Some are taking liberties with this. But you know what? Send in your high school, and we'll show their score every week, too. Here we go. Minnetonka over Edina, 35-28. Tonka got 21 points in the 4th.
See, this is good stuff here. Edina's 2-0. They went to state in nearly all the sports last year, so they must have a very athletic class. They're very good. They're ranked. They have a big lead in Minnetonka. At Minnetonka, they blow the game and lose.
It was a Thursday night game. Both these two scores were Thursday night games. And at Minnetonka that night, it was their coaches tackle cancer night also. So it was big hype, lots of things there. And they come back and win. Down by 14.
That must have been a fantastic game to be at, is all I can see. For either team, either fans.
Eden Prairie over Prior Lake, 40-13. It was at Eden Prairie Lake's a better team than that. So I don't know what happened here that night, but get that bad game out of the way now. No follow-up, but Lester Prairie over Waterville, Elysian, Morristown. And we saw Waterville, Elysian was ranked, so see how that affects it.
Wow.
New Richland over Mayor Lutheran, 38-15. That was kind of a shot. And then all the scoring was in the fourth quarter on that one, too. Now, that might just be bad line scoring from the reporting coming in. I'm pretty sure it wasn't 38-15 just in the fourth quarter.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. For the listeners out there, that might be the case. Yeah, because there's zero to little chance that took place, but still a good game regardless there. New Richland.
St. Peter over Jordan. There's no line scoring updating them there. Watertown Mayor 14 Donut over Glencoe Silver Lake.
Interesting.
Sounds good. Watertown just running game, just pound, beat the snot out of them, and that's how that game went.
Okay.
Now that says boys or girls soccer. We're going to do just boys soccer this week. So many high school sports cutting in, but we got baseball playoffs and other things to talk about. So we're kind of some sports, some weeks, some others. So don't send hate mail yet. And these are going to be the rankings for the boys soccer. Top 10. 3A, Minneapolis, Washburn, Maple Grove, and Egan and Wayzata are your top 4. Tonka at 6. Buffalo at 9. Armstrong and Rosemont tie for 10th. 2A, you got Blake at 1, Academy of Holy Angels 2. There's St. Thomas Academy at 6. Orono at 10. Actually, St. Paul Como and Orono tied for 9th. So, but they show 9, 10, then they show similarly at 11. And for A boys, you got Mini Academy. Breck, St. Cloud Cathedral, St. Paul Academy, Holy Family. Southwest Christian. Southwest Christian is usually a pretty good team too, so watch them. Moving our way up, we're going to NSIC College Football. Home of the Beavers.
Yes.
And then we go Beavs 133-0. Here's all the scores from the conference there. Sioux Falls over Mary, 35-33. Close game there. South Dakota State over Augustana. Now, yes, South Dakota State is not in that conference, but Augustana is. So therefore, that's why that score is listed. So Jackrabbits went down, beat up on a little school. Hope you feel good about yourself.
Bunnies.
But the Beavs did move up to number 21 in the top 25 poll. And here is the rest of said poll, 1 through 25. Yes, it's small print. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Harding and Grand Valley State are the top 2. There's Colorado Mines, that school, Colorado School of Mines. Curse them, number 5.
Always good.
They're always up there. And there's the Beavs. They're down there, 21. Augustana was 19, but again, they played up, so that probably won't affect them in the standings very much. Missouri Valley, home of South Dakota State and the Bison. And there you go. No one's played conference games, so it's your overall record, and then based on alphabetical after that. So just relax, Illinois State. Just relax. Don't save the screenshot. You're in first.
Yeah, and very only time probably in the season that's going to be the case. So get your screenshot now.
Yeah, Northern Iowa, take a screenshot, save it. The Beavs came back against Eastern Tennessee State. This game, Dan, it was Bison won 38-15.
Okay,
and
got
look at the scoring in the fourth quarter there. 8:39 to go. Eastern Tennessee gets a field goal to go up 35-23. A minute 59, the Bison score and get the extra point. So they're down 5. Onside kick, field goal, win. Another touchdown run, they win. So 2 touchdowns for the Bison with a 2-point conversion. Winner, chicken dinner.
Wow. See, that's amazing. Then that's Mr. Lance
down
Bryce.
By 14 down by 12, I'm sorry. 2 minutes ago, come back, boom.
On the road, huge.
How do you like me now?
That is a deflated place there at ETSU.
Eastern Tennessee State University, which is also FCS, so it's not like they beat someone higher or lower.
Okay.
But it was a road win, come from behind win. Got to like that. Here is, as of today, the division FCS rankings. South Dakota State, North Dakota State won 2, Montana State 3. Again, a lot of schools playing above or below right now. Give it next week, we start playing each other, and it's going to happen.
It's all going to even out, yes.
But speaking of, South Dakota State there was ranked 6th. The reason they didn't move is their game against Portland State was canceled because Portland State had the whooping cough.
I've never heard of this. Now, this is just this week.
First for everything, whooping cough caused Portland State to cancel its game versus South Dakota. About a day or two beforehand, Portland State called and said, "See if you get that refund on the plane ticket, boys."
Very interesting. So these are not made up. Does it go as a forfeit then?
Probably, because they're not. It probably just be as a non-game 0-0. I mean, like the game never happened. It won't be a forfeit. Just canceled the game because it was a non-conference, non-game like that. Hope it doesn't affect them in the seedings later. Hope they all understand stuff like that, but we'll see.
That's wild stuff right there.
So more sports notes. The Pac-12 is mobilizing a long discussed plan to rebuild the league because right now there's 2 teams in the Pac-12.
Okay.
Because everybody else leaving. It's Washington State and Oregon State ladder. And I saw a video from the Washington State game. On their football field, they still have the Pac-12 logo. There's 2 teams. And they still call themselves the Pac-12. They were kind of beating their chest after week 2 that, we're the only conference with all undefeated teams because they're both 2-0.
Exactly.
All right. So Oregon State, Washington State are targeting Boise, San Diego State. That's the SD State there, San Diego. San Diego State, Fresno, and CSU. The schools are applying for membership. So Pac-10 is trying to rebuild, getting schools from the Mountain West. That means the Mountain West is going to need teams.
Yeah, so
there's a projected Pac-10 super conference if they combine them all.
Okay.
Yes, there's 16 teams there. You look at the Far East there, Dan. I see the Bison and the Bunnies would join along with the Grizz. The 2 schools from Montana would join. They'd be playing with Oregon, Washington State, Washington, Hawaii, Air Force. So San Diego State. So there could be Bison and Bunnies are being talked about moving up along with Montana and Montana State also.
Interesting.
Joining the Pac-12 as a super conference.
That is very interesting. I do like that.
Now this is football only, though.
Okay.
Now, there is still going to be the Summit League for basketball for them. Basketball for the Bison and the Bunnies. Those teams do qualify for the NCAA basketball tournament, like the Gophers are in the big tournament. So that's not going to affect them at all. Neither one have hockey. Their basketball teams still go the other. So this will be a football only to the Pac-12. The wrestling is already in the Big 10 or Big 12, so that won't change. They'll stay with that one.
I like it.
So the Bison being one of those schools that have like 6 sports and 4 different leagues. So
yeah, it's awkward.
And here it is, all the money part. You can see it. Brent McMurphy on his X account or Twitter account. All the schools and the money and who's going where and why, what's being proposed. You can follow all that. So don't buy too much Missouri Valley Football Conference shirts quite yet. But don't go buy Pac-12 shirts yet either. Just hold your money. Some Major League Baseball stuff. Here's the standings as of this morning. In fact, the Mets and Washington are 1-1 top of the 10th right now. So I can't.
Okay.
Here you go. Mets and Braves are tied. The Cubs are 5.5 out or 5 out. Just showing the next team up, just in case. The Mets have 3 left with the Braves next week. It was supposed to be a 2-game series, but one's a makeup game. The Mets hold the tiebreakers against everybody there in the wild card right now, except the Braves. They're tied at 5-5, but they got 3 games to go. So that series will decide that one. San Diego's playing like world beaters right now. Arizona's kind of crap in the bed lately, so we'll see what happens there. Arizona, Mets, and Braves kind of fighting for those last 2 spots there.
Interesting. And like I said before, to the fans out there, Andy, to the local those who follow the show, I'm kind of a Brewers fan right now, thinking that this could be the team that could do things. We've heard about the Phillies and Dodgers all year. Yeah. Just saying.
I mean, they're 2 games behind the Dodgers because the first 2 teams get a bye. It's that 3rd division leader and the 3 wild card teams that play in the first round. So the Brewers are 2 games out from taking that second spot. but
wow.
I'm not holding my breath either. Here's the American League. Twins 2.5 ahead of the Tigers, Mariners, and Red Sox 4.5 out. I look at the last 10 games. Twins are 4-6. Tigers and Mariners 7-3. They've each gained 3 games in the last week plus. So, and Kansas City's pulled away by 3 games on the Twins. Twins are kind of crap in the bed right now.
Yeah, it's interesting.
If you haven't noticed lately, that's my word of the day: crap in the bed.
Now so this week it's the Twins and Guardians in a 4-game set starting tonight on the road in Cleveland at Progressive Field. That's going to be huge.
Yes.
Even if the teams split, no ground is made. So something's going to have to give in those games. So that may be a series to watch. And Detroit plays against the Royals, and so
So that's
whether they beat each other up or not, it could help or hurt the Twins, or help one of the teams, or help the Tigers. Tigers are playing well.
And the Mariners, like we said before, fired their manager last month, and now they're up to 2.5 out. So are they going to make a run for it here with the new manager? So
they're a team to watch, yes.
And the Red Sox are at 500, but you never know. Some teams have that horseshoe in their back pocket that's going to sneak in at the end. That could be them. If the playoffs started today, of course, Mets and Braves would have to have the coin toss or something to split that up. That'd be the 6th seed, and they'd be playing your Brewers. I look at this, though, and the American League, the bottom half of the bracket, if you will, in the American League, or it's the Yankees to play the winner of Baltimore, Kansas City. That's the series I'd be watching right there. Holy cow. That would be exciting to watch right there. Whoever won between the Orioles and Kansas City, then against the Yankees, that'd be great baseball. Cleveland's looking like a pretty easy path. Sorry, Twins, but they'd crush either one of those. Then kind of looking ahead, I'd like to see San Diego and Philadelphia. I think that would be a good series. No offense to Arizona, but just the way San Diego's playing so hot right now, considering they had that bad stretch earlier, much like the Mets. So I'd like to see a Padres-Mets in the NLCS.
Okay.
And say, we'll say Baltimore and Cleveland in the AL. If this was today. Yep. That's probably who I'd say.
Orioles are tough, and Royals with Bobby Witt. I mean, today he hit a grand slam today. Mm-hmm. They're playing Detroit, bases loaded, grand slam. So Witt is another one of these players to watch. He's also in talks for MVP.
More on that later coming up. Yeah. Here we go. Since August 23rd, the Tigers have the best record in the American League at 14-6. Last time Javier Baez batted, August 22nd.
Wow.
Do the math. Mr. Overpaid Player. He was all the big thing a couple years ago. The Mets were all set to sign him. He was Mr. Everything with the Cubs. Even me as a Met fan, we got all hot and bothered and excited to sign him. He signed some big money in Detroit and has been crap ever since.
Wow, that is interesting stuff there.
So they bench him, and they're 14-6. So that might be one of those players where you eat the salary and just get rid of him. Louis Rise in 2022, Twins batting title champion. 2023 with the Marlins, batting title champion. 2024 with the Padres, right now, batting title champion.
Is he leading the league right now?
Yep. He hasn't struck out since August 10th. In baseball world, that strikeouts are far more higher than ever before. Arez he's one of the best hitters of the day, yet there are many who claim he's not a good hitter. He currently leads the National League in batting average at .317 and could potentially win his 3rd batting title in a row with his 3rd different team in a row. How does this happen?
Yeah.
It's
never been done back-to-back on different teams in different leagues. Now he's going to go 3rd. I mean, folks have got to wake up that this guy is a phenomenal hitter.
Yeah. Someone's got to open the checkbook and say, "You're our man. Here you go. Thank you." And now, for Dan's favorite part of the show.
My favorite part, yes.
Farm Cable TV award-winning.
Andy's Soapbox.
I agree. The DH should never win the MVP.
Yeah, I do.
Look at like what's in the National League until this week we got hurt with Lindor. You talk about Bobby Witt Jr. in the American League. Nothing against what Ohtani's doing. One guy goes, Ohtani's DHing only. But they go, well, he's rehabbing from Tommy John surgery. I don't think swinging a bat, rehabbing Tommy John is the same as throwing a ball after Tommy John. Okay? He's just...
He doesn't bring
He's
his
going to do
mitt.
50-50, and that's great. But all you're doing is batting.
Yeah, he doesn't bring a mitt to the baseball game.
He's not getting that wear and tear on his body like Lindor is. That's where Lindor's out. Back issue.
Is he good? Yes. Stolen bases, amazing guy. But there's so many people to win the MVP that it's going to muddy it up if you give it to and no shot to Ohtani, but you cannot give it to a DH.
And you know what the Angels, though? He DH unless it was the day he was pitching. No. Play the outfield and then pitch every fifth day and still put up these numbers. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. Don't DH for 4 days in a row, then pitch the fifth. Go, see, he pitches once in a while. Yeah. Great. Play the field every game. And I'm not putting down what he's saying. I'm just saying, but you're not. No. You're
not at that level. The everyday players with the wind and the grind, the daily grind of being out there. And I'm talking guys who even play 140, 150 games. You don't need the 162. That's so rare. But it's so hard to stay healthy and so hard to hit and keep up at that pace and play defense every single day, 600 at bats. It's a grind, and MVP just doesn't have that.
And I just saw a stat today. I didn't put it up there. Those are like 6 guys in baseball right now that have played every game this year.
Yeah, very, very rare.
And I'll say right now, one of them is Pete Alonso, and he's played every game. But you know what? Some of those are at DH. So, yeah, no one's going to break Cal Ripken's record for consecutive games. That's not going to happen. DH or not, that's not happening because of the way today's athlete is. But still, don't pat yourself too hard on the back for playing every game when you've been DHing some of them. Mets just got a base hit, won it in the bottom of the 10th.
Woo! Ooh, nice.
Sterling Marte, game-winning RBI. Okay, sorry. So there's that. Pedro Martinez is the only member of the 3,000 strikeout club to have less than 3,000 innings pitched.
Interesting.
Let's read that again. So that's more than a strikeout and inning average in his career, which a lot of guys have done. But 3,000 strikeouts is a big number, and he never had 3,000 innings. But so with that said, if he could have stayed healthy, would he have had 5,000 innings and get 5,000 Ks and be up there Nolan Ryan territory, Randy Johnson territory? Who knows?
The ratio is amazing just to have that many.
Yeah.
And not have a down year or a non-strikeout year or whatever.
Speaking of Ks and of hair and of everything else, Syndergaard's thinking of making a comeback next year and would like it to be with the Mets. We'll see. He's coming off Tommy John. He came back. He played with Cleveland for a little bit last year. Just didn't work out for him. I don't know if he's going to come back as a reliever, obviously. And you hear some pitchers coming back from Tommy John. Now, I heard this. I watched about 5 minutes of the football game yesterday, the Vikings-Niners game. The Niners quarterback, he kind of had a football version of Tommy, or not football version, but he had a Tommy John type surgery done on his arm coming back at quarterback. I don't know if that's going to be the thing to do now, but he had something similar to a Tommy John. Some guys come back, some don't. Jacob deGrom had his first game back in forever this week. So we will see. So keep Noah Syndergaard's name on your radar.
Thor
to his close personal friends.
And as a reliever, that it should be fine. The wear and tear on the arm as a starter with all those pitches, it's not gonna work. So at his age, a reliever could be just fine for him coming in every few days, a couple innings.
Yes. So Noah Syndergaard, Thor to some, or as former intern Abby calls him, sweet baby. The W, or as I like to call it, my Caitlin Clark Love Fest.
Wow.
Here we go. Here's the playoffs right now in the WNBA, like you said. The Fever are up there. They're at the 6th seed right now. The Lynx are up to the 2 seed. So obviously it'd be 1 against 8, 2 against 7. So the Connecticut Sun would be playing the Fever. That would be a very close one right now. That last playoff spot, as of right now, belongs to the Washington Mystics. They must have the tiebreaker over the Chicago Sky and the Atlanta Dream. Dallas and Los Angeles, thanks for your participation. And they only play 40 games, so they each got 2 left. We'll see what happens. And also some jockey draw can go up top there too, between 3, 4, and 5 with just a couple games left. We'll see what happens there too. Seedings are not set. But you look at
20 wins for Indiana.
40-game season. Liberty 31-7. Lynx 29-9. And if I recall, I'd have to look back. I don't think the Lynx started out that great to start the year. I think they were like 1-4 or something to start with, or 1-3 if I recall. But so they've been hot lately too. So, and now a couple reasons I like the Las Vegas Aces is, as you can see, they're one of a handful of teams in this league that end in an S. And Becky Hammon's their coach, so
that also
that's the big one. All right, now that if you're watching this on the YouTube, that person at the bottom is Lisa Leslie. Some say she's the logo for the WNBA, but she was, when the league first started, was just one of their premier players. She says here, quote on her Twitter account, "I'm just laughing at the folks who thought I'm sorry, let's start. Now I'm just laughing at the folks that thought it was going to take her some time to adjust." Lisa Leslie said right after that Caitlin's going to run away with this league, and she is. I didn't dig out the audio because I'm lazy, but you all know it. At the draft time, I said, I don't think Caitlin's going to do it points-wise, but watch her for assists. Most points in a season by a rookie in WNBA history. Okay, I didn't call that one, but way to go, Caitlin. Assist record in a single season. Okay, I didn't really say it'd be a record, but I said she'd do good for assists. So
you said it, yes.
I kind of called it, not really.
Way before the season started, you made that quote.
Yep, draft time. Here, Wilson made a special Caitlin Clark autographed basketball. They ran out in 40 minutes. Now,
see, this is
different when
huge.
you and I were kids, though, because now you got guys and collectors who have their robot accounts and other people buy them up for them. But still, that just shows you the demand that 40,000 or that all these sold out. How many did they make here? Does it say they sold out in 40 minutes? Doesn't say how many they made. I'm sure they made more than 10, but you know, special Caitlin Clark autographed Wilson basketball sold out in 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's fun to watch this all take place. And once again, there's many people that are good every year. There's many players that are premier every year. But this is a generational thing, once again, that it's not going to be every year someone this big coming out. And what you choose and how you handle it, like Barkley said, the WNBA did basically everything wrong.
Right.
And he says, I don't know if they could have made any more worse decisions with Caitlin Clark. And now you've got this golden egg landing in your lap, and you choose to keep pushing it away at every opportunity you can and just look at it. And so it's a big fail. It's a hashtag fail. But she's been awesome.
You look at the Indiana team. Wilson kind of took her under her wing. She'd been there 1 year. She was the big rookie the year before. But she's not. Here, Caitlin, you take the spotlight and run with it. You go right ahead.
Aaliyah Boston?
Yeah, or Boston. She said, no problem with that. You take it. You take all the spotlight, take the shine off me and everybody else. You go right ahead with that. This is not a dig. Facts. I don't see. I don't see anyone else's name here at their basketball selling out in 40 minutes.
Nope.
So I'm not even going to name a name because say I'm hating on whoever. No one's ball sold out in 40 minutes, male or female.
Now, before we get into NASCAR, the last thing was this. You had said a couple when this whole draft took place.
Yep.
You said like Las Vegas is now. Look for this Indiana team in a couple years with 2 number 1 back-to-back players. It's only going to take 3 seasons roughly, and they're going to be getting a title or winning several titles. That's how fast the turnstile goes here. Remember, Vegas had 2 back-to-back years where they had the number 1 overall pick, and they won back-to-back titles. This year, they're going for their 3rd.
Yep.
Look for the same thing potentially or somewhat to happen there in Indiana, barring any catastrophe. They're going to be tough. Yes, they're good now. They're playing 500 ball. But as they gel and as things get going, this could be your dynasty team here in a couple of years.
NASCAR's in their playoffs. So, congratulations, Chris Bouchard, who wins the second round, if you will.
Okay.
So here we go for the playoffs. Now look at this here. But Chris Bouchard was not one of the 16 drivers who made the playoffs. He still won the race. So that really affects the playoffs even more now. I mean, because it's not one guy with a guaranteed spot to advance. So you still got Logano with his one win up there. But the other guys all kind of jockeyed around. Chase Elliott's still at 7, so he's sitting safe. You see those 4 in red there. That's the guys who need to do something at Bristol next week. Is Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., and Harrison Burton. 3 really big names in NASCAR. I thought you expect to move on, but we'll see what happens there. There we go. Denny Hamlin only 6 points out. Keselowski 12, 14, and 20 out. So that's not a lot of points. They can be made up within a race. Nothing's guaranteed there. You win and you're in. So Sports and Songs presents Police Report.
Nice.
This piece of crap is still in the league for some reason. And you know what? I do not feel sorry for the Cleveland Browns for paying him $250 million guaranteed when he had 23 allegations on him to start with. Now here's more allegations. I hope you had insurance on some of that money or whatever, but just get this piece of garbage out of your clubhouse, out of your team, out of your city, and just tell him to kick rocks. I'm not even going to go down the allegations, but when you have that many and now more, how could you be a fan of this guy? How could you buy his shirt? How can you even follow him on a social media account? Why? Unless I worked for a network, it was my job to cover him. I don't follow him on social media, first of all. This is off a Seattle sports station. Had this. So this piece of junk needs to go away.
Yeah, the only thing in Cleveland that's been making the news, and possibly because of this, is that they want to get a new stadium built outside the city in the suburbs. They want to get a new dome. They want to get a new stadium that enclosed. They want to do all this stuff, and I think they're trying to recoup and somehow generate some money, tax.
But this is your poster child right now.
Get a stadium to because this is going to be an ugly deal for Cleveland.
Yeah, if this is your poster child right now, I ain't put my money into it. Injury report, and this is again not playing favorites. Not saying I like or don't like a person. I'm just saying. Tua, hang it up. Hang it up, brother. You've had 3 concussions that we know of in 2 years. We don't know what you had in college. We don't know what you've had besides these last 2 years, what you've had in high school. You want to remember your children and grandchildren and tell them stories when you played, then hang it up. If I don't know if I want to hang it up or not. Any decision that says out of his mind that says he's still playing, in my opinion, is pure greed, pure ego. The league has to step in. And I know it's a shaky subject. It's a touchy subject. To me, a concussion is a concussion. I don't care if it's a grade 1 or grade 2 or however they rate concussions. A concussion is a concussion. Like a sin is a sin. I don't care how bad they are. Something scrambled in your head where your brain hit your skull enough, you had a concussion. The NFL has to step in and say, hey, after so many, no, you're done. Now, Tua just signed a big contract. Again, I hope there was insurance money so that Dolphins aren't stuck eating and paying all this. But again, I kind of laugh at the Dolphins. The guy had 2 major concussions last year and you signed him to big money. That's on you. Again, that's greed and ego on your part, wanting to sell jerseys and put butts in seats. That a guy that threatening his life out there all the time. And the thing is his 3rd concussion, he dove in and hit another man's leg. It wasn't a head-to-head shot. He dove ahead and hit a man's leg that caused his concussion. I mean, if you see that play, he was goofy from the word go when he hit him. Yep. Here's the karma part of it a little bit. Remember last year the Buffalo Bills had that player Hamlin who got hit and they canceled the game. That's the guy's leg he hit.
Yes, that's right. Okay. Yep.
So kind of a karma thing, this guy gets his leg. So how did it be Hamlin? You finally, hey, I survived this. I came back and now, it's not your fault, but this guy hit your leg and now he's in that same boat.
Now it's ending his career. So yeah, I did see that. Very, very interesting. The coincidence, the chance.
Yeah, of all the guys to have that, but Tua, you got to hang it up, brother. It's not worth it. You're still smart enough to. Hopefully, you're still smart enough to know it's better. The league needs to step in. So many concussions, you're done. Or or more than 2 weeks off, you get a year off. Figure it out. Let's do some more tests. Let's see. But you can't not do this.
Interesting. Yep.
Let's start talking good news. College hockey. Preseason polls are out. This is not every college group around here in the metro area or Twin Cities, Minnesota area. Just some. So if I missed yours, I apologize. CCHA. Beavs are number one. Boys are number one in the media and number 2 in the coaches poll.
Okay.
Preseason goalie of the year, Matisse Shaw. And look at that. He's from California. He's
Hermosa Beach.
He's from the preseason goalie of the year for the team's preseason number 1, number 2, and he's from California. I've seen it all. And for a goalie, he's got decent hair.
Yes.
For a goalie. And here is the preseason coaches poll. St. Thomas is 1, Bemidji 2, Michigan Tech, Texas Tech, Michigan Tech 3, or tied for 2. Minnesota State. You see, the red is their number 1 votes. So that explains why coaches and media were so close with Bemidji State being 1 and 2 of. St. Thomas is 1 with 3 first place votes. Bemidji's tied for 2 with 3 first place votes. Michigan Tech tied for 7. So this looks like it's going to be a good year right there. Those 4 right there. Dender. It's the Minnesotan in me coming out.
Yeah, good stuff.
And here's the preseason poll for the media. Bemidji State was first, but really kind of tied with St. Thomas. There we go. Same votes. 5 first place votes, so that's why Bemidji State got 1. St. Thomas had 4, so they got 2. Minnesota State, Michigan State, Bowling Green. Ferris State, here's your participation trophy. NCHC. That's Denver, North Dakota, and Colorado College. Those groups, there's your top. Number 6, Western Michigan getting 1 first place vote. Didn't know you could vote for yourself, Western Michigan. And look at number 8, Arizona State.
Hockey.
Yeah, playing the WCHC. Arizona State and Miami are up there. Never thought I'd say those 2 names in a hockey. There we go.
Now this is Miami of Ohio, right?
Ohio, yeah, but still, it's Miami.
Still, it's just goofy to say. Yes.
Yeah, just
so Denver, okay,
doesn't roll off the tongue real well. And now the Women's Collegiate Hockey Association preseason poll. Here we go. Scotty, Ohio State, and the Gophers are your top 3. Duluth, Colorado State, and St. Thomas. And then Mankato, Minnesota State, and the Beavs. So Beaver hockey's going to be a little different up there. The boys number 1 and the girls are playing. So different crowds there.
Yes.
You'll see a lot of the boys, girls playing the same day. Try to get fans in. We'll see what happens. But there you go. There you all go. And that's what we say is all I got. If that wasn't enough, I don't know.
Well, good stuff there. Lots going on, as we say. Lots going on.
Baseball updates for you real quick as we speak. Bottom of the 9th, Dodgers are ahead of the Braves 9-0. So the Mets will get that 1-game lead over them. Twins did lose 4-3. And that's the D-backs are winning in the 5th. Middle of 7th, Tigers are ahead of Kansas City 7-6. Brewers are ahead of the Phillies 5-2 after 7. It's shaking up, baby. I love this time of year.
It's a lot going on now for baseball.
Cracking things here. It's just all exciting over here.
Minor league baseball Class A is done. Class AA wrapped up this week. There's still postseason things going on with those, but the only regular season minor league baseball is going on is this week, AAA, and that's their last week. So they'll be wrapping up. Major League Baseball wraps up here in a couple of weeks. Regular season playoffs will begin. Minnesota Vikings football. They go on the road to beat the Giants. Not a good team. Nice win. And on the road, but not that surprising. I think the vote for this week was the biggest from the media, was the biggest shock or the biggest surpriser. The Vikings winning at home against the 49ers. 49ers predicted or planned by many to go to the Super Bowl and go deep in the playoffs. They find themselves now 0-2. Vikings looked good. So
49ers were minus Christian McCaffrey.
Yes. So Vikings 2-0, 49ers 0-2. It's very strange.
Yep.
Now for the big what do you call it? The greenhouse.
The greenhouse, big greenhouse. Yep.
Houston
McCaffrey,
Texans.
big stud for San Francisco. He's out, which shows you how much that changes their game. You can figure, well, the running back's out, so we'll focus on the pass. Well, the backup running back did decent, but just shows how McCaffrey's at next level.
They are tough when he is in the game on the roster. Very, very tough. Vikings are at home against the Houston Texans this week, and then they travel to Lambeau to take on the Packers. And then after that, where they're in Jets overseas.
Houston Texans, the return of Stephon Diggs.
So Stephon Diggs will be coming back to U.S. Bank Stadium this next week. Another noon game on CBS against the Texans. That should be also very good. Gopher football. They lose their opener on national television with the fireworks going off on the missed field goal. Very embarrassing. Come back to win by a shutout the next week. Won by another shutout this week. So they haven't given up any points in the last 2 weeks, but now they come. Iowa comes to town this week for the Big Ten home opener.
Yep.
The problem is the following week, Gophers go to Ann Arbor. So
Ann Arbor, Michigan isn't playing well right now either.
Yes, they are like 17th, I think.
They're dropping like a rock.
And then they'll be playing USC, who's actually ranked above them. But a tough schedule going on. Gophers have looked good, though. It should be interesting. As we said in we did a bonus episode for the college. Iowa could be on a down year somewhat. They're coming to home here, Huntington Bank Stadium. I think it'd be a close game. I don't know if the Gophers are going to win it, but it should not be a blowout. This could be a possible win for the Gophers. We'll see how they do. But the local baseball, Andy, the 50-plus in Minnesota, 50-plus regular season ended this last week. And I think the 60-plus season ends in a week or two. State tournament coming up this coming weekend for the 50-plus baseball players in the state of Minnesota. That's a one-weekend, basically, tournament. That'll be done after 60 wraps up the following weekend. Other than that, all that's going on is fall ball. Later in October, the teams will head down to Fort Myers in Arizona to play some
Now,
ball.
if a guy wanted to, could he play the over 60 and over 50 league? Or
yes.
You can't play both? Okay.
Yep. There's no prerequisite or no rules there. They want to try to grow both leagues so you can play, and there's very common for guys to be on both.
Okay.
And still play in the over 35. Some play multiple. So they're trying to grow the game. Fun stuff. So it is good. But watch the links this week. 2 games. Yep. WNBA, Vikings, Gophers, Twins, big series with the Guardians. Trivia question.
Wait, I got some updates before you get to that. I advanced to the second round in my fantasy baseball. So I'm in the semifinals for that.
Nice.
Fantasy football, I should be 1-1 after tonight. And like I said, I was out of the WNBA a couple weeks ago, so God bless the girls, good season, but I just don't care about my third place team. I had to focus priorities on the baseball team that was still in it.
So now you're in the semifinals for fantasy baseball.
For fantasy baseball, I'm in the semis. Football, I'll be 1-1 after tonight, hopefully. If not, I'm 0-2, and then I'm really focusing on basketball and hockey afterwards.
Wow. Well, you typically tend to do good in the fantasy sports. You're always in the top rung.
I make the playoff run all the time, and we'll see what happens from there.
All right, trivia question. WNBA, we talked about the Indiana Fever clinching a playoff spot, which they haven't done for a while. How many seasons did they have a drought of not even qualifying?
I think it was 6.
Yes. What's your guess? 6. Close. The answer is 7. And Andy, as far as how bad they were, they haven't made the playoffs in 7 years. That's a pretty long stretch. The number of wins they had in those 7 years, only twice they had double-digit wins. The other 5 years, they had single-digit wins for the regular season. That's a 40-game schedule.
Yeah.
For the fans, I think the fans are due. The fans are excited about this for the Fever. They didn't have much to cheer about.
With that said, take that into consideration when you're not saying Caitlin. Take it back a little bit what I've said about Caitlin now. Oh, well, their attendance records are up with this, and their jersey sales are up this. Look what they've had the 7 years before that. It's not going to be hard to get 500% more people watching your product, Yeah,
they will do
so better. Take that into consideration when you see those numbers.
And the attendance records, everything going up, it's going to be huge. They're going to be in the mix to the playoffs. I don't know how they're going to do, how far they're going to go. But the fact of the matter is that they're in the postseason. Yep. Caitlin Clark's playing. The Indiana Fever are back in the mix. They have 20 wins, Andy, this year. 20. And that's
like a 3-4 year total.
They were, when I say that they were poor for those 7 years, you know, 2 of those that they had double digits were 13. And so they're already up there with a couple games to go. So follow them if you want. I'm not pushing them. It's just going to be fun to watch for those fans because they did not have much to cheer about. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Have a good week, everyone. We'll be back on Monday.
See ya.
See ya.